Hi, today I'm going to go over the basics of the Unity interface and just a few things I want to make sure that we cover. So let's move on. Here you're going to see the main Unity screen. One of the first things I want to go over is right off the bat, and pick the one you like. If you go all the way over here to the right, you're going to see that you can change the layout. You can also adjust it to your liking, but these are the standard layouts that developers use, and you can go through these on your own. Here's the default that should load up. And then depending on your computer that you're using, a lot of people like tall. I like wide. I like to do wide. And then the final thing that I like to do on my own is take the game window, what it's going to look like when you're actually rendering it, and I like to move that down here and get these leveled out. You can save these. We won't go through that too much because it's relatively quick, and a lot of people move them around as they're developing. So that's the first thing I want to go over. The next thing to get us started is moving around or traversing the layout. So you'll see that if I hold down the center wheel, if I hold down the center wheel and not roll it, you see the icon change to the hand, and I can move it around like I'm moving a piece of paper. If I click on the right mouse button, I can move up and down, like that. And so that helps me to traverse the environment. Okay. So you'll notice these buttons up here in the toolbar, the hand tool, the move tool, the other toolbars up here. And you can use Q, W, E, R, T up at the top of the. You can see how each of these move and change to each of the icons. And if you get in the habit of keeping your fingers on the Q, W, E, R, T, then you're able to work a little bit. One thing people also like to do is they change some things up here. Right here, you'll see Skybox. People like to turn the Skybox on and off. Maybe if you're on a laptop or something like that, it'll help things to work a little bit better. Also, turning the scene lighting on and off. You can kind of see in the background, but as you add more lights, you'll be able to see exactly what that does in the screen. What we're going to do now is create a game object. You can click Game Object menu up here. Or you can right click down here in your hierarchy, right here. And we're going to create a cube, just something to manipulate. There it is. And we can zoom in and zoom out. We can move the page. Okay. Now, we can move this cube by clicking the arrow and moving it up and down. You can see down here what that looks like. Okay, so you can move it on the X, Y, and Z, like so. Okay, you can, all right, and that's by hitting W or this right here. You can rotate it by hitting this button right here or E, and you can click on these little arrows, and now you can rotate the cube, get it situated just the way you want it. Okay. And you can scale it by hitting R or that button right there. And here's what scale does. Now, if you want to scale it all 3 dimensions at the same time, you just click the center. You can scale it in and out. I want you to notice over here in the transform, you can also change it directly, position, by typing in numbers, rotation, by typing in numbers. Put it up so you can see it here. And the other thing I like to do, especially with, I personally often, rather than using the, rather than using these buttons up here to change things, especially the scale, one of the things I like to do, if you highlight right over the X, Y, or Z, so this you type it in, but if you were to highlight right over the X, Y, or Z, you see the arrows change, you can scale it and you can go all the way out the screen back around again. So that's another way to change the size of things quickly, as well as the position, and make it a little, to me, it just feels a little more precise when I go in that direction. So you can play around with that a little bit and get that working the way you want. And that is how we manipulate objects and create objects. And you can see they're listed in here. In my opinion, we'll get to more of it later, but I wouldn't ever leave it as just cube and cube one. I would name it, you know, left wall of a house or something like that. And those are our basics. That'll get you started in Unity. Thanks.